Doon 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 doon. It feels so good, yo. Doon 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 doon. It's time for some peak. It's time for some peak. Doon 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 doon. Dude, I've been going through withdrawals, ladies and gentlemen. Bad withdrawals. Bad withdrawals, man. I have missed this series so much. The anime's been on break. The manga's finally back. It is time. Oh, where's the camera? Where's the camera? Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Good lighting. Good lighting. Before we start today, I just want to give a massive... Actually, hold on. Is my audio good? Because before I say what I'm about to say, is my audio good? Please let me know. Dude, I'm so hyped. Because, bro, because the thing is, right, you always have to refill yourself with the greatness, right, by rereads and stuff of that nature. But it's like I needed some new content in my life, man. Audio good? Yo, Turbo, welcome to the Kingdom of Santa Hats, brother. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. It's good? It's good? Audio's good? I appreciate y'all, man. Let's go! Let's go, lazy mofos, bro. I'm ready. But yeah, no, Turbo, thank you so much for becoming a member. I truly appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, before we begin today, a rest in peace to Carpet Hair Sama from last week. No longer on the floor. It had to sacrifice itself for the next generation. It had to pull the shanks and sacrifice itself for the next generation. So, Carpet Hair Sama will be here in the future, but not today. Not today. Hopefully next time Carpet Hair Sama shows up, it'll be for another legendary chapter like that. Right? But on a serious note, I want to give a massive shout out to my good brother Uzumaki Khan, who gave me a shout out a couple weeks ago in the middle of the break. And I just, nothing but love to my good brother, man. That's my boy. And hopefully, whenever he catches up, we'll have the opportunity to reconnect and talk about this series. Because I see how much he's enjoying the manga. He's enjoying it as much as we are. So I can't wait to talk to him about all the greatness. So nothing but love to my good brother there. But ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. My withdrawals are hitting. It's time to sit down and read the latest installment in the final saga of peak fiction. It is finally time for us to sit down in this chair in front of all of you today, very early. I can't remember the last time I did an early reaction like this, but I'm home. And I'm home because the heavens have allowed me to be here today to see what in all of the Flagnars is going to happen in a chapter in Egghead. You never know what's going to happen. You never know. Am I going to see Shanks this week, man? I'm not sure, boys. I'm not sure. So, I could see some Shanks. I'd be cool going back to Egghead. It's just, there's so much happening around the One Piece world right now that I have no idea. What we could potentially get, man. But even if we just stay on Egghead, I am so good with that because we are here today to read the latest installment in the best-selling manga in history, ladies and gentlemen. We have been going up in like swimwear since chapter 1054. All hits, no misses. And the bias in me goes even further beyond than that to 1997. Because since the final saga started, it has been nothing but gas, nothing but peak, and we are here to continue that today with chapter 1077 of One Piece. Dude, ladies and gentlemen, this is about to be the one, man. Coming off of last week, or the week before, like I said, the withdrawals are crazy. I need the manga, and I need the anime. And since I haven't been able to get either, whatever this chapter ends up being is about to be peak times 50. Just because of how the withdrawals that I'm going through right now, man. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and read this chapter, boys. I'm so hyped, man. What is about to be in store for us today? Massive shout out to my boy Silva for letting me know the chapter was out. Oh, man. What's about to be in store for us today, bro? Yeah, what's about to be in store for us today? Oh, let me make sure my mic is plugged in. Yep. Alright, here we go. Chapter 1077. Bro, if this title says something with red-haired pirates or Shanks, bro, I'm gonna scream, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do, bro. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Here we go. One Piece title. Come on. Chapter 1077. You should have put it together sooner. You should have put it together sooner. Kid's arm? Is he talking about Kid's arm? You should have put it together sooner. I don't know. Is he talking about Lucky Rue's health plan? Chapter 1077. You should have put it together sooner. Have we ever gotten a title like this in One Piece? You should have put it together sooner. We look down, we see Caesar and Judge both heavily wounded. Bumps coming out of their heads. Tongues hanging out like they are Dr. Vegapunk. Legit, so we have them both thinking of Dr. Vegapunk. We see an exclamation point in the Germa Castle. And then we see both of them with their tongues hanging out like they are Dr. Vegapunk. With Reiju and HG here in the background. Wait a sec, it's all Vegapunk's fault. So now they're going to be blaming Vegapunk. That's why they're thinking of him in this manner. They're like, yo, wait a sec, it's all Vegapunk's fault. So now we're getting out of the mad stuff to go back to the Germa 66 stuff here. So wait a sec, it's all Vegapunk's fault. And we have it looks like it's a direct parallel to one of the previous cover pages where we saw both of them in a younger version of Judge and Caesar clashing and going at each other, right? So, but here we have them in the way they look today. So, wait a sec, it's all Vegapunk's fault. Tongue hanging on everything, man. Yo, let me, the Michael Jeffrey, man, you know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta let the tongue swing, brother. You know, bro. Come on, man. Come on. I met up with all the musicians that worked on the movie again. Man, they really are the best. So Oda went to go meet with the musicians that worked on Film Red, on top of Otto, of course, right? Just being able to meet potentially with the composers, the individuals responsible for certain parts of the music, right? So it's really cool whenever I see stuff like that, right? Because you put yourself in the scenario of someone who has been writing a series like One Piece, right? And to finally be able to work on something which I assume Oda's been wanting to work on. We can see within the manga that there's a bit of love for music within the series, right? Just in regards to Luffy stating right off the bat that he wanted a musician, right? You could tell that Oda really values music, and we see how he's done with Bing Sake and with Whole Cake Island. There's just certain things that resonate whenever music is involved. And so I'm sure that he wanted this to be good. If it was going to be a One Piece musical, he wanted it to be good. And for it to have been as successful as it was, I'm sure Oda's just very, very proud of it, man. And I'm happy for him. Egghead. You know, it's like I'm both happy that it starts off in Egghead, and at the same time I'm like, bro, I wanted to turn the page and see Elbaf so bad, man. So bad. But you know what? I've been loving what's happening in Egghead so much that let's just do it. Is that Sentomaru? Fabrio Stratum Egghead. What is Sentomaru thinking? You guys have to get off this island. And here we see the Fabrio. Is that the Gurren Lagann? Kamina sunglasses? On top of the Fabrio Stratum? Yeah, row, fight the power? What are you talking about, Sentomaru-san? Tell us what's going on here. Here we're going to see a few individuals. Dude, The design right here for the person inside of the robot that's frowning, it looks like that one Pokemon, the mouse. Oh man, what's the name of that one Pokemon? Regardless. What's going on here? Why did you deploy the Pacifista? There was once an island called O'Hara. One day out of nowhere, it was wiped off the map. All because the people there opposed the world government. So he's letting these individuals know the truth about O'Hara, the place that, like they did for the Lucia, it never existed in the first place, right? So they're trying to wipe it from the history books. And so just the mere fact that Sentomaru is stating something like this puts him in grave danger. Anybody who mentions anything about O'Hara automatically puts themselves in grave danger. So they're asking why it is that he deployed the Pacifista. And he's explaining his motivations behind, or are focused and centered upon the O'Hara incident. And that one day out of nowhere was wiped off the map, all because the people there opposed the WG. And here we have someone wearing the Lilith hat. Nice afro. Is that a Robin cosplayer? A refresher on the O'Hara incident. Oh man. Aokiji, Olvia, Clover, Robin, Saul. I still can't believe Saul is alive, man. Like, it's that was one of those moments that just really catches you off guard. Like, Saul of all people being the man marked by flames. Like, who could have called that? The island of O'Hara was host to the largest library in the world. Scholars gathered there to conduct research on the poneglyphs, despite the topic being taboo. The Navy was eventually sent in to eliminate everyone on the island, including the villagers. And we're not talking about Animal Crossing. Nico Robin was the sole survivor of the massacre. We have the legendary bounty poster there in the background. You know, the reanimated flashback sequence they recently did for Robin versus Black Maria for this stuff was sensational. Just simply sensational, man. The fact they're targeting Grandpa Punk, shows how serious they are about erasing him. They're willing to lose the world's greatest mind over this. It's like, that's how important that incident is to keep undercover. The fact that they're willing to get rid of someone like Vegapunk because he has too much information in regards to that particular incident. That is how serious they are about erasing stuff like O'Hara from existence. It is that they're willing to lose someone like a Vegapunk that is so valuable to them across the board, obviously, right? With like the creation of the Seraphim units, even going as far as providing electricity for so many individuals in the world, which obviously leads into them having to pay, right, for like electric bills and what. I'm just equating that to our world. But Vegapunk has provided so much for the One Piece world that to eliminate someone like that, it just shows how much they see him as a threat, and the knowledge that he possesses as a threat. And here we see Egghead, dude. When I saw like the little JRPG thing they did, the like 8-bit, 16-bit commercial they recently released, the Game Boy Advance thing. Dude, seeing Egghead for the first time and seeing it in color, it really put into perspective how much I love this arc. Because like whenever I saw it just in color, I was like, dude, this is Egghead, man, you know? So it put a smile on my face, man. If y'all have not seen that commercial yet for One Piece Volume 105, definitely go watch that. Definitely go watch it. It's some good stuff. That's why I think whatever's coming will be even more monumental than the O'Hara flashback. That's why I think whatever's coming will be even more monumental. And this place will be ground zero. They're planning on wiping out everything here because what is here on Egghead Island? It is the biggest hint towards the Void Century that we have had as the readers, and of course the people within the One Piece verse are going to have. They're like, why is there a giant robot here? Why is the Iron Giant here from one of the greatest animated films of all time? Why is the Iron Giant here? Why is Futurama a thing? And that's going to lead them towards investigating the fact that this actually comes from the past. And so for the WG, this place right here exhibits the same amount of danger as would the individuals in Ohara, like a Professor Clover, or even Rox and him dabbling into taboo subjects, because this entire island to me is like a taboo subject. You know, we're learning so much just by the existence of Egghead Island taking place 500 years in the future, which is actually 100 years in the past. The mere existence of this island and people potentially coming to this island poses the biggest threat to the WG and their secret being poured out into the world. That makes a lot of sense to me. But the fact that he says that what it's coming, it could be even more monumental, and the fact that Egghead's going to be just wiped clean, becoming ground zero, man, that gives you goosebumps. That gives you goosebumps, dude. I love the way the panel shows like the entire island from beyond, showcasing like just imagine this island, and now imagine this island just as a wasteland, like that one map in Modern Warfare 2, just straight up a full-blown wasteland. Hurry, Straw Hat. What's going on up there, man? Dude, doesn't that like just not only does it fill you with nostalgia, like the first time that Sentomaru met Luffy back in Sabaody, seeing them reunite and return to Sabaody, seeing how he was always trying to capture Luffy, right, and saw him at his worst, saw him when he came back at his at one of the peaks, right, and now he's here at Egghead. He just finished taking out Kaido, and the belief in Luffy has gotten to the point to where he's like, yo, hurry up, my dude. What's going on up there? We need you. Stuff is about to pop off. Y'all need to get off this island for the betterment of the future, for the betterment of mankind. Sentomaru, bro. He's becoming a tard. God bless him. Control room, 4th floor, building A. What's up with these guys? Isn't this where Luffy and Lucci are? What's up with these guys? He's in Gear 4. Dude, I still can't believe Luffy's in Gear 4, man. Like, when I tell y'all... Look, Gear 5 is my favorite thing ever. Like, legitimately my favorite thing ever. But I was a little worried because Gear 5 can do everything the other ones can do. So I was like, maybe we'll never see Gear 2 again, Gear 3 again, Gear 4 again. So when I was on Gear 4, I was like, yo, like, it made me happy. I'm not gonna lie, because I love me some Gear 4. And so, it's just good to see. And he releases a Kong organ. Right here, Congo organ. And here we see Lucci. Handgun, Yellow Lotus. Oh, he's reaching into his Rock Lee bag? This man, Robert D. Lucci, just finished watching the tuning exams and was like, yo, I gotta drop the weights. I've gotta drop the weights. I've gotta release the 5th gate. A master in taijutsu, Robert D. Lucci. Handgun, Yellow Lotus. So I'm going to assume both of these attacks are like a Gatling type of thing, right? Organ is obviously like Gear 4th's version of like a jet Gatling, right? But then I'm going to assume Handgun, Yellow Lotus is just him doing the finger pistol just at light speed, right? So Handgun, Yellow Lotus, Kong organ. And then, dude, just look at this panel, dog. This is so crazy to me. Luffy goes in, Gear 4 bound, man. Kong organ on the S-Bear. And Lucci goes in with Yellow Lotus. And they both deliver another tag team attack. So it wasn't just the incredible tag team attack from last time. From last chapter. No, now we continue the tag team attack to pack the S-Bear up. And we see Luffy and Lucci from behind. It's just a glorious panel. I cannot wait for this stuff to be animated, man. It's going to be so cool. Kaku comes in. Tempest Kick. Mihawk jumps up. Come on, Zoro. Onslaught. And we see Mihawk. He just goes in. One sword style. Zoro. Let's go! One sword style. EI. Shishi-san-san. Lethal Lion-san. And Zoro goes in and hits S-Hawk, Mihawk, with a Shishi Son. Man, you think about this type of stuff just in regards to like the individuals that we faced before in the past, right? Like Luffy using a Kong organ back on Cracker, seeing how much that was doing there. Lucci, the original Tempest Kick, which wiped off the entire Kaku, the original Tempest Kick that wiped out, like, started cutting Enies Lobby in half, or at least the Judicial Tower. But this man Zoro, dude, anytime he uses Shishi Sonson, it always gives me goosebumps because it's one of my favorite techniques in the series. But to see him use this now in back-to-back fights, where against King, when he used Shishi Sonson, I was losing my mind. Because that was just a pro wrestling match. That was AEW Revolution. MJF versus Bryan Danielson. Everyone unleashing their finishers in beautiful manner. Well, shout out to that match. That match was crazy. But seeing Zoro and King just, or especially Zoro in particular, using all of his finishers up until that point to finally take out King was like a wrestling fan's dream. That's why I love that fight so much. But here we see him go back to another finisher. And we've seen him do this regularly, right? Where it looks like Purgatory Onigiri. And now Shishi Sonson are kind of like his base attacks to test out the opponent. Can they handle the Purgatory Onigiri? Can they handle the Shishi Sonson? Because if not, I gotta start flexing even more. If not, I'm gonna start flexing even more. If they can't handle my original finishers, then they're not gonna be able to do anything. So Zoro goes in against the S-Hawk. Against the S-Hawk that is more human than Mihawk, by the way. And unleashes a Shishi Sonson, dude. What a panel. What a panel. Lethal Lion Song. The S-Bear moves over to the side. Mihawk gets up, bro. Mihawk is like, yo, you scratched me? What was that? He just, ooh. What? That didn't even hurt. That didn't even hurt, dog. Dude, when you see stuff like this, how can you not get hyped about Dracula Mihawk? How can you not? Dude! At least for me, I know for a fact the S-Hawk doesn't compare to the real thing. Doesn't compare. So it's like, when you see the S-Hawk tanking a Shishi Sonson and a Tempest kick, it's like, brother, when we see Mihawk, my dog's gonna be out here. Out here. Man, so they both get back up after tanking those two attacks. Kuma, or the S-Bear tanking the Luffy and Lucci combo attack. Luffy's out of Gear 4. So he tanks the attack, and then of course Mihawk tanking Shishi Sonson. I mean, insane stuff. Luffy, what the heck? So this just goes further to showcase that Luffy truly has mastered his gears, right? Being able to get in and out of them at will now. What the heck? They're getting up way too easily. So here we see, oh, this is an awesome panel, dude. They're getting up way too easily. Do they think they're Kaido or something? Oh, that's really cool. So Luffy's like, yo, do they think they're Kaido? Because he's comparing them to what he believes is to be like his strongest opponent yet, right? Where he's like, yo, if they just keep getting back up after I give them my strongest attack. Luffy gave Kaido everything that he had. And the reason why Kaido didn't get up the last time is because he got sent down into the volcanic manor. You know, Elden Ring? When you go to the volcanic manor, you see old girl and the big dude behind the bodyguard. That's where Kaido is. They sent Kaido down to the volcanic manor in Elden Ring. Probably going to see Kaido in the DLC as a fightable dragon. And Luffy's like, yo, Kaido just kept getting back up. Every single time. He's like, yo, man, just go down. Just stay down. Stay down. Shaka, Luffy. Yo, this panel goes crazy. S-Bear and S-Hawk. And then right here with the 5. Roof Piece style. We have Shaka, Monkey D, Lucci, Kaku, and Zoro. And just an excellent, excellent panel, man. This is goosebumps. Goosebumps. What happened to my Santa hats? Dude, I honestly have not seen them since the Shanks chapter. Did I launch them? Regardless. Because I went to go grab it, I was like... Yo, I must have sent them into oblivion, man. I have no idea where it is. Regardless, this panel goes crazy. This is a Santa hat level panel if I had. I honestly don't know where my Santa hat is. Now that you mention it, they remind me of King. That guy I fought in Wano. See, so Zoro's reminiscing about King. Luffy's reminiscing about Kaido. A Lunarian on Kaido's crew? I never caught what his people were called. That's right, because Zoro was trying to figure it out, but he never truly found out what it was. And Shaka immediately brings it up. A Lunarian on Kaido's crew. Because he knew who he is. They remind me of King, that guy I fought in Wano. And Zoro, of course, is comparing the Seraphim units, the Flames, the Black Wings, to King. A Lunarian on Kaido's crew. I see. That must have been Albert. He knows him by name. The test subject who long ago escaped Punk Hazard with Kaido. Confirmation that what we saw within that chapter was actually Punk Hazard. So, long ago escaped Punk Hazard with Kaido, and we see a young king in the background, bro. The Seraphims owe their toughness to his Lunarian blood. So you're telling me that exactly as we all anticipated, it was off of King's DNA that they extracted everything that they needed to create the S units? Bro, the WG needs to put the fattest paycheck in King's thing. And then they had the audacity to send Green Bull over to body King while he was down. While he was down, what they should be doing is sending all of his royalty checks over to King. That's what they should be doing. That man is the sole reason that they are able to do everything they're doing at this point in time with the S units. Give him a royalty check. That man is the MVP of the WG. And he's Kaido's right-hand man. Are you kidding me? It's by name, I see. That must have been Albert. The test subject who long ago escaped Punk Hazard with Kaido, young King. The Seraphims owe their toughness to his Lunarian blood. King, man. They were able to make all of these dudes, all these insanely OP individuals, thanks to his Lunarian blood. No kidding. In that case, pay attention to the flames in their backs. Of course, because Zoro knows how to beat it. Our attacks will only be effective when they go out. Really. He was practically invincible when he was on fire. My bad, if I'd clocked it sooner, I could have saved us some stamina. Zoro apologizing for not being able to see that sooner is so Zoro. It's so improvement mentality. It's so wanting to become the greatest. To where even in the presence of two individuals considered to be your rivals / your enemies, you still apologize to them for not being your very best self. And I appreciate that from Zoro, man. No matter with this intel, we can finally make some progress. And they're all back in the regular state. Yeah, there wasn't much about King to clue me in. He only had a couple of unique features. White hair, brown skin, black wings, and the flames on his back. I mean, brother, that's everything you're seeing with Mihawk. You see? Exactly! You should have put it together sooner. Like, bro, the moment that I would have seen the wings, right? The wings are the biggest thing. The wings are the biggest thing. The moment I would have seen the wings and the black wings and the flames, I'd be like, okay, I gotta put two and two together. You gotta put two and two together. But the white hair and the brown skin, that to me is like, yo, come on. Come on, man. Like, bro, come on. So, Zoro is not only lost in his direction, he's lost in his manner in which he gives directions. You love this. Lucci, Kaku, and Luffy, a part of a Zoro gag, is just, it's greatness. It's absolute greatness. Zoro, man. This man said there wasn't much about King to clue me in. Well, yeah, man. He just has the features they have, you know? Man, yo, the Lunarians must have been some good-looking individuals. Man, white hair, brown skin, black wings, and the flames. Like, yo, all of them rocking. Because, man, King? Yo, you got a whole civilization? Individuals rocking like King? Oh, man, dude, no wonder they wanted to wipe him out. They'd be taking up all the men and women. Are you kidding me? Bro, imagine a female version of King. And you have King or individuals that look like them out here on the earth. They're taking all the romantic partners. Are you kidding me? A bunch of kings? No wonder they wanted to eliminate them. Look at how fire they look. Literally. Hey, Helmet, where are you going? I think I may know where the Stella's gotten to. So Shaka has a feeling as to where Vegapunk went to. The original body, the Stella body. We see Mihawk and Zoro clash. I'm getting my Santa hat. Come on, dude. Where is it? It's not here. It's not here. You want to know what this thing was? I launched this thing to the top of my to the top of my closet. That's what Shanks does. That's what Shanks does. So, Zoro and Mihawk clash. Zoro stops Mihawk from intercepting and going after the Stella unit. S-Hawk and Zoro clash. Let's flip and go, man. We're in a bit of a rush, and Zoro smiles in the... Let's go! Third floor building, of course. Of course. Third floor building A. Is this Frankie? No, Nami. Oh yeah, that's right, and Nami was screaming last time. Yo. Nami Swan. Let's go, Zeus! Yeah! Zeus goes in an incredible angle, mind you. Cloud, Lightning, Baron all going in. We can't treat him like a kid. Like Eustace kid or an actual kid. So, Nami goes in, Jinbei in front of him. Here we go. Dude, Odo's been on something else in Egghead Island. What is he on? Like, my dog has just... You want to talk about fan service? Egghead Island has... It could feed an entire colony on fan service. I could tell you that. I could tell you that right now. Treasure Crew is going to be eaten. He's a heartless killing machine. What happened to Brooke? One of our friends has already been ambushed. And he basically totaled Edison. Edison's on the floor. Brooke has been taken down. Nami's the only one up to face it against S-Shark? Yo, Zeus better start putting in some work. He's definitely not a kid, and he's not cute either. And of course, Nami's going to be hesitant to go after Jinbei. Because not only is it a fellow member of the Strats, but Jinbei's also a child. So she's gonna try to like talk herself out of it, of like, no, this isn't an actual child. That's right, Nami, don't hesitate. Close your eyes if you have to. She closes her eyes. Just fling me and I'll handle the rest. Come on, Zeus, bro, for the boys. For the boys. Thunderbolt? Man! Hits S-Shark with the same technique that she had ulti with. Just sending straight up the Pikachu straight through the midsection. Straight through the midsection. So, Thunderbolt goes directly through Jinbei. Man, Zeus comes right out of the other side. And I love how much this adds here for Nami as well, right? Because we know how much she really does care for children. For her to have her close her eyes in order to hit this is... It's like, it hurts your soul, but you know that she has to do it in order to protect the rest of the Strats. They're down. Edison's down as well. So it gets struck right through the middle, man. Zeus just goes in, Thunderbolt. Look at how much damage that did. We have yet to see one of the S units look like this. Smoke comes out of Jinbei's mouth. Electricity's still around him. Like he almost got hit by a Mamaragan by NL. Oh man, so it's like it's not only feeling remorse for the fact that the S-Shark is a child, but also the fact that this is still a version of Jinbei that exists, and Nami feels so remorseful about the fact that she had to do this to someone that looks like Jinbei. To the fact where she says, "I'm sorry, Jinbei," after delivering that technique, man. Like, it hurts your heart, bro. And he gets sent back. Splashes, because of course he has the thing. Splash. He dove down again. Here we go with the Senor Pink. He dove down again. Nami-san, he's coming from below. So Brooke, he put his head back on. What? I love this panel of Nami here as she looks back. It didn't work! I mean, bro, you guys are dealing with the S units. The S units! It didn't work. Zeus is having an NL shocked face here. Perona shocked face. So Brook puts his head back on. Nami-san is running. He's coming from below. What? Nami looks back. Jinbei from above? I obeyed. If I ruled a country, my decrees would be simple. Decree 1, anyone who threatens Nami-san will face capital punishment. Sanji? Is it Sanji, bro? Yeah, it's gotta be. No one else on the planet would say something like that if it wasn't for my dog Sanji. Decree 9, anyone who makes her scream. So that's why we heard the scream at last chapter. We were all like, yo, Sanji's gotta show up. Anyone who makes her scream will receive. The numbers used might be as upon as 9 and 1 can be combined to form Kui, which can imply fishing/seafood in some contexts. This man's gonna turn Jinbei into seafood? Relax. Relax, Sanji. It is a rare fillet strike. And he drop kicks Jinbei like he's Kazuchika Okada. Oh, he goes in. Dude, I mean, Sanji comes in full blown, bah, making some seafood. I'm sorry, Jinbei. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Yo, making some Lunarian seafood. All right, we gotta put some respect on the S shark. So, this man Sanji, and I remember some of y'all called last week, where you were like, absolutely, we have to get to a point to where if we heard Nami screams, Sanji's going to go over there. It's just a matter of fact. So, the fact that this is taking place, and Sanji, I gotta read this again. If I ruled a country, my decrees would be simple. Decree 1, anyone who threatens Nami-san will face capital punishment. That's decree number 1. Decree 9, anyone who makes her scream will receive a rare fillet strike. And goes in and makes some Lunarian fish food. I love Sanji, man. Goes in, drop kicks Jinbei, sends him flying the flag nards right above Nami's head. Sanji-kun, are you okay, Nami-san? I can take care of this. You won't get another warning, small fry. I love how we're seeing him go back and forth. I don't give a damn if you're a kid or if you're another Jinbei. I'll be your judge, jury, and... Yo, delivering the universal language with his mouth and his legs. My dog said, yo, I don't care who you are. I'm judge, jury, and executioner. Which means your life is in my hands. Jin Brat. Oh. And then just look at the panel. It just covered in black. Nah, this is cold. This is cold, man. This is cold. This is the Sanji one-liners that we love to see. This is what we love to see, man. Goodness gracious. Sanji, bro. Third flirting. This is what Sanji greatness is doing in my brain. Third floor building C. How dare you petrify York, dude? This is what and in the afterthoughts, I was talking about how excited I am for this upcoming battle between against the S Snake against Hancock, because it feels like we're going to be placing a scenario where those four need to utilize everything available to stand a chance against Hancock, and this is going to cause for some great teamwork. So let's see what happens here. We see Lilith. How dare you petrify York? We see the bridge. Bubble gun. So here the bubble gun's going to start using. Lilith uses the bubble gun. Hancock just slides over to the side. Ostrich and Hockey on fleek. Just, ooh. Or does she smack it to the side? Or does it connect? So Hancock's running. Slides over to the side, but we see like a little bubble pop happen right here on her shoulder. Oh no, she actually brushed it off. Usopp's like, yo, whoa, she brushed it off like it was nothing. She's on the floor. Hancock gets into the floor. Does that bubble gun have the strength of 30,000 men? On some King Punch? Elizabeth II stuff? She brushed it off like it was nothing, falls to the ground, and she hits the floor. Bro, look at her face. She legitimately looks like she's just terrified of what just took place. What? Like she's really, really scared of what that bubble gun just did. Lilith! Green blood gives you the pros and cons of having a fruit ability. And these bubbles were designed to harness the... Of course. I should have put 2 and 2 together. Now I see why the chapter is titled that. They were talking about me being an idiot. And these bubbles were designed to harness the ocean's energy. They're your weak point. So this bubble gun against any fruit user is going to be extremely OP. No wonder she hit the ground like that. Green blood gives you the pros and cons of having a fruit ability. And these bubbles were designed to harness the ocean's energy. They are your weak point. No wonder she can't move. Yeah, you're freaking awesome, Lilith. Usopp, Pythagoras, Frankie. Come on, Frankie, bro. I'll catch her while she's down. Stay back, you impudent lout. Who did that? Oh, Hancock's back up! Because it's already worn off. That's because it only grazed her. That's right, because it only hit her shoulder. So Hancock bodies Frankie. Sends him flying to the back. And now she's really mad. She's even got the pudding, the little pudding, annoyed face, you know, whenever the puffing the cheeks. Uh-oh, she's mad now. Hancock goes in, fires off one of the lasers. Frankie goes in from behind. What is that? He's like lifting the earth. Hancock starts falling again. Wonders from the bubble gun. Started taking effect once more. Take that, you rascal! And Frankie brings down a bubble? Did he like manifest a massive bubble from Lilith's bubble gun? Look at the size of that thing! Frankie, you genius! Use that bubble perfectly. Give it up already, runt. Dude, Frankie using his brains. Big boy Frankie doing his thing. Give up already, runt. This is agonizing. And she starts crying, and Frankie's like, oh, I'm sorry, because of course. It's like, yo, you're in the face of a small child at the end of the day, man. And a child's tears are always going to make you like, man, what am I doing, bro? You know, like, I'm sorry, man. You feel me? Like, I can't even tell you the amount of times that, especially as a kid, right, whenever you're dealing with, like, little brothers or cousins and whatnot, and you do something on accident, right, like, you take one of their toys, trying to play with it, and you see them, like, start welling up tears, you just give the damn thing back, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, here, take the toy, just take the toy, man, I'm so sorry, you know, and it's like, it's that type of thing, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I know I had to do that to you, but I'm so sorry, especially someone like Frankie, who has such a kind heart. He's like, man, I'm sorry, yo. I'm sorry, Hancock. And Hancock turns him into stone! Perfume of Famudu? This petrification power is no joke. And it has him, like, clean down the middle. So it did not do it completely, obviously, but it still did it halfway. This petrification power is no joke. It's turning Frankie's turning into stone. He's gonna die. Bubble gun fires multiple. Hancock is maneuvering through the bubble gun. Wink is the cuteness factor. Flagnards, man. See, if I would have known that the ability could be used in this way, no wonder Blackbeard went for Hancock's ability in the way that he did. Because now we understand someone necessarily doesn't even have to have the sex appeal in order to feel this, in order to pull this off. They could just simply be cute enough in regards to you, your heart wavering in terms of sympathy and or empathy for said individual, and that is in turn going to cause your heart to waver, which is going to cause the petrification power to go off. And so that's why you see Frankie here losing to the cuteness, and that's why we see Lilith and Usopp also losing to the cuteness. Man, dude, no, that this ability is crazy. I already thought it was OP, but to see that it can even be used to this extent is just insane, man. Insane. Flipping Flagnard. So they get turned into stone. Underground Old Devil Fruit Research Lab? Shaka! Who's there? Are you the one behind all this? Come on and show yourself. It can't be. You're those Cypherpole agents? I thought you had come and gone ages ago. Why are you here? Save us, I don't want to die. So Shaka's just now finding out about the fact that the Cypherpole agents were locked down here. Shaka. Stella, so this is where you were. Yo! So he runs into the Stella unit. Who could have done this? I'm so glad you're okay. Let me help. Say, Shaka, who's that you brought with you? What? Click? The traitor? Who? Who did he bring with him? I don't see no one. Shaka got headshotted! Who shot Shaka? This man gets headshotted. Back to the ground. Shaka. He's been shot. What's going on? Who was that? And Vegapunk legitimately looks shook. And whoever shot Shaka is talking back to the outside. Who in the flying Flagnards is the traitor? Brother, who is the traitor? Because this is the thing. So many of us were on board the Shaka thing. Shaka's a traitor. Shaka's a traitor. Then, there's the possibility of Punk Records itself being the traitor. Lilith has been turned to stone, which is the other person that we all thought was a traitor. The other individuals have been taken out. Who is the traitor? And what does Katak mean? Are they slithering? Dude, and they busted a cap in Shaka's head. Bro. Subra membership for 6 months. Shout out to my dog Subra, says peak end. Dude, it's like every Egghead chapter just ends in a brilliant way. You know what Oda's building here? Subra. Water 7 had such a special murder mystery element to it. It really did. It had a really, really special type of vibe to it that felt like a classic detective crime novel / thriller. that made it so compelling, right? This, though, in direct parallel, as we continue the parallels to Eni's Lobby, to Sabaody, and now here with Water 7, this murder mystery he's doing is absolutely insane. Because this is a murder mystery that now anyone who's reading this on a weekly basis and or are going to read this in binge are going to be the same way that I'm feeling right now, being like, who in the flying flagnards is this? It's such a brilliant end. It's like, in one chapter, he's just annihilating our theories. It's not Lilith. It's not Shaka. And now we're going to be like, oh! Check out the staff list for Ifrit Jambe. They put out the staff list? No way, bro. Yo, tag me in it, Subra. Tag me in on Twitter. Check out the staff list for Ifrit Jambe. Michibata back? I mean, who's Michibata? She did Soba Mask Nitro. She did the Soba Mask individuals. Oh. Dude, I didn't know the staff list was out. And the Ifrit Jambe episode is going to happen in the next 4 episodes? When we come back, we've got to do Killer, Hawkins, the Awakening chapter, Sanji, legendary scene, Ifrit Jambe's 1034. How do they still have the staff list? How do they have the staff list? Dude, tag me in it, Subra. Tag me in it. 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 I want to see it. Holy flagnards, man. Dude, this chapter, bro. Toei's cooking. Thank you, Superman, for membership for 6 months. I appreciate you. Okay, Dan, welcome to the kingdom of Santa Hats, brother. I truly appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Okay, Dan, man. It means a lot, brother. Goodness, man. Goodness. Batu Balu, membership for 11 months, says, Dofi, Croc, and Moria Seraphs are the traitors. If we see Dofi, the gun, oh, bro, it could be. It could definitely be Dofi. Croc or Gecko. Oh, man, that's a great point. That's a great point, Batu Balu. Yo, thank you for that comment. That's a fantastic point. So then Juan Carlos comes in membership for 1 month and says Imu-sama makes the same Katox. Imu-sama? Dog, I will leave the planet. Imu-sama makes the same Katox, so maybe that's why Saturn is called Saturn. Juan Carlos, stop. Yo, I would just scream. If I ever saw Imu-sama pop someone in cold blood, that's chapter of the year. That's chapter of the year. Alright, that is automatically chapter of the year. So, no, thank you for that, Juan Carlos, man. That's a great Imu-sama having the flippin' thing, man. Flippin' Imu-sama. Could you imagine? Dog, I'd be screaming. So, let me look at... So here we have the Joaquin Moreira coming in with an ARS 900. Shout out to Joaquin Moreira. Says, yo, Kingu, saludos desde Argentina. Shout out to Argentina. Messi, you know? Hermano, first donation ever. Go peace. Yo, Joaquin Moreira, thank you so much for taking the time to send me this, man. I appreciate you so much. Saludos a ustedes in Argentina, man. I truly appreciate you, bro. Truly appreciate you. Thank you, man. First donation ever. That's wild. Shout out to my boys in Argentina, man. I love y'all. I absolutely love y'all. Nothing but love to you, man. Not Ifrit Jambe, chapter 1031. That makes more sense, David. Oh my god. So the person who did the Sanji Soba Mask episode is doing the legendary 1031? Hold on, bro. Where's this staff list, man? I gotta see this staff list, dude. $10.54, $10.57. Killer's Deadly Gamble. The Secret of the Darkness, Onigashima Burns. Strike Back, Law and Kids Counterattack Alliance. That's going to be the 10:30. For Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro's Oath, 10:31, airing April 9th. Oh, man. So these next few episodes are going to be bangers. That Killer versus Hawkins episode is going to be incredible. I don't know why they're splitting 10:30 in half. But then we're going to get 10:31. Dude, man, we are in for some heat. Thank you for tagging me in that, y'all. We are in for some heat, man. This chapter had one of the most brutal... So Marcus Lem comes in membership for 1 month. Shout out to Marcus Lem, who says this chapter had one of the most brutal scenes in the series yet. Feels so different, like Oda saying, I hope no one dies, becoming ever more ominous. Dude, you're absolutely right. Like, it had a really... Especially that ending. It had like a headshot. Because I could see if someone got shot like how Anne Hancock got shot with a bubble gun right here on her shoulder. That's where you're like, okay, yeah, that's not brutal in the slightest. Bro, that's why it caught me so off guard. Look at the way that this panel is shot. It's like he's falling backwards as the bullet is coming in and hitting him right in the skull. It's like, yo, it's very brutal. Very brutal. And just seeing the shocked expression on Vegapunk's face, it's like, man, the way this panel was crafted is just, it's brilliant. It really does give you that feeling. Like I said, it's very ominous. It makes you fear for the character's life. Not Shaka, man. Not Shaka. Dude, if it's Garcia, bro. So, Sanji's eyebrows? What happened with Sanji's eyebrows? I missed something with Sanji's eyebrows? They turned! This man Oda's attention to detail is nuts. Look at them up here in the Rare Fillet Strike panel. And then over here, dude, once again, the eyebrows flipping changed, man. We're about to see a different Sanji. When we're already seeing a different Sanji. We're already seeing a different Sanji here. But this is hype. This is hype, yo. Shout out to y'all in chat for pointing that out. Yo, Bar M. Bar M coming in with a membership for 12 months. Shout out to my dog Bar M, who says, just read the chapter, coach. Shaka got done dirty at the end. Those last panels were terrifying. Bar M, this chapter gave me the same vibes that chapter 1060 gave me. Though to a to a similar extent, where I legitimately was in fear for the lives of the characters. Like, it just had that type of build-up to the payoff of the just insane amount of intensity that you're feeling inside, right? Going from panel to panel to panel to panel. This chapter had some incredible flow. From beginning to end, everything just flowed very well, very naturally. It was a great chapter in the way that it was paced. But the end of the chapter really, really hit Bar M. Like, it was legitimately terrifying when Shaka got hit there at the end. Because, for me, I was like, what is Vegapunk talking about? And the fact that there is someone else here with him. I didn't see another person with him. So Vegapunk saw this person with him, and then they were taken out. So for me, is this person someone that can turn invisible? Like the likes of a Shiryu now? Though if it is Shiryu, why use a gun? Is it Lafitte? Right? Because if it's Lafitte, Lafitte would easily be able to maneuver around in this type of way, though we don't even know what he has at this point in time. So it's like, if it's one of the Blackbeard pirates, but then that's not a traitor. That's just someone that's coming in and invading. A traitor is someone who's already here. A traitor would have to be one of the other S units, or like a S Flamingo, S Hawk, whatever, or one of the Vegapunk units. But it's like, the way the chapter was constructed is kind of like annihilating all those other theories. Where it's like, nah, boom, 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 boom. It's not this person, it's not this person, it's not this person. Open your eyes and you'll see the truth. But I can't see the truth. I don't know. We're in the middle of a Detective Conan case, and I can't tell what I'm seeing. I can't tell, man. Oh, Batu Balu comes in with a 5. Shows Batu Balu and says, very conveniently, the missing seraphs are the 3 warlords directly opposed to Strahd. That's a great point. Just saying, also, almost a year of membership. Dude, you feel me? It kind of feels crazy. Like, whenever I see people say, like, membership for 12 months and stuff like that, I'm like, well, how long have we had this memberships thing for? It's crazy. It's crazy, no, 100%. But no, you're absolutely right. So the 3 warlords were the ones that we directly opposed, right, within the series itself. Crocodile, then Gecko, and then Doflamingo. So it's like, if these 3 seraphs are the ones that are left, and it actually is one of these, because now, whenever I see that gun and I see someone escaping, the first things I think of, right, obviously, like I said before, I think of Lafitte, and the possibility of the Blackbeard pirates trying to do a full-scale, invasion of the world. But the thing is, that wouldn't go into a traitor's thing. So for right now, I'm going to keep that in the back end, as much as I would love to see that. Then we have Caribou, who obviously could be slipping and sliding all over the place. We have no idea, right? That's just insane to me. That he could be doing his classic Caribou things, right? But even then, I'm not even sure if he would be capable of doing something like this to someone like Shaka. But he most certainly is, at the very least, able to do something like this, so he's not out of the picture yet. So we have Caribou, we have some of the other Vegapunks in regards to, but it's like, who? Who? Is there one that we haven't seen yet? My brain, and then there's the St. J. Garcia Saturn thing, man, because remember that astral projection thing, or that was what Zaki said, but the idea that whenever we saw the security camera, we saw that person who, like, went up, we were all like, yo, that is structured in the same way St. J. Garcia's Saturn's face is structured. So it's like, is he already here? And if he's already here, then it's over, right? But if he went out here and took out Shaka in a similar way that we saw in one of the CP5 members doing the Ohara flashback when they shot Clover, this is very similar to when Clover was shot, right? The same way that the panel was structured, the same way in which he fell back, and we knew that was going to be it for Professor Clover once he got shot like that. So it's like, if it's St. J. Garcia Saturn, then did he pull up and just said, bah, he's going to start popping dudes? I don't know, man. That's crazy. That's flipping crazy, bro. But thank you, Batu Balu, man. I appreciate you, dog. I love Egghead Island, man. This arc is so awesome, dude. Ashen Samurai Jiro says, great chapter ending, Coach Rip Shaka. Definitely was my favorite Vegapunk. Dude, Shaka was so cool, bro. Also, by the time I finished Kuro, you finished Peak Fiction, and I think I've peaked beyond measure. Von Arkwright is the best to ever do it, dude. Von Arkwright, the flipping king of the game, man. The king of the game, bro. So glad you enjoyed it, Jiro, bro. Absolute peak. Shuri will be slicing dudes left and right like the psycho he is. 100% Matthias. 100%. Luffy being there for 2 months is crazy. And that's the thing as well, Icon. Like, that's the reason why I don't think it would be Lafitte. Because it would have taken significantly just... Could you imagine the planning that Blackbeard would have to do in order to do that? I mean, I'm not throwing it on the wayside, but I do think that Oda's trying to build a murder mystery here. And in order to build a murder mystery, I'm going to assume that we wouldn't be, like, introducing new characters to the murder mystery. Whereas I think what Oda's trying to do is just have all of these characters that we've already seen and have the viewers try to figure out who it is that it actually is. Like in a classic murder mystery. Or in the case of like the S units, it very well could be one of them because we already know they exist. So, whoa! Hollow Saba coming in, gifting five memberships. Shout out to my boy Hollow Sama, man. Dude, I appreciate you, Hollow Sama, man. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships, dog. You are a real one. You are a real one, bro. Thank you, dog. Silva, my boy, says one of my favorite chapters in Mystery is incredible. Dude, this chapter flowed so well, Silva. And like you said, now after this chapter, this mystery has hit its peak. Where before this chapter, we were like, it's obvious it's Shaka. It could be Punk Records. It could be Lilith. The individuals in which we thought to be the traitors, or the individual behind this, they were either taken out in this chapter or did something that would not have been possible for Punk Records themselves to do, which is bring out a physical gun and shoot someone. So, it's like, man, Lilith is down. The other Vegapunks are down. Shaka got taken out. Who in the flying Flanders is doing this? And so, it's incredible, Silva. You know, Egghead has been really special. It's been special for a multitude of different reasons. But coming off of the last chapter, which is like one of the epitome of around the world craziness, when you get to just crazy hype, Shanks kid, all that stuff. Coming off of that chapter, to present a chapter like this, having the confidence in the arc you're currently building, because you know your fan base wants to see Shanks versus Kid. You know your fan base wants to see Blackbeard versus Law. You know your fan base wants to see BV Morgans and everything happening around the world, Sabo, Dragon, all that stuff. But having the confidence in your manga to be able to go back to Egghead, stay on Egghead, and present a chapter that moves so great that when it ends, all of us feel it. And it's like, whoa, this is one of those Egghead chapter endings that only this arc can provide. And it was just brilliant. And I really felt for Shaka there at the end, because I've come to appreciate and love Shaka. And like I was stated already previously, that his character, the character design, is just such a cool character. And for him to have been taken out in this manner, such a brutal way, it's really adding on to this murder mystery that Oda's creating, and I love it. I love it a lot. Exactly, Icon Xenophanes. We have no idea who it is or what the motives are. Like, we have no motive. Like, what motive is there for what's happening, you know? It's like, I would have thought that someone coming in to eliminate Vegapunk has clear motives, right? Like someone like I don't know, man, like one of the CP members, or a St. J. Garcia Saturn, or one of these people. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Brother, this mystery is crazy. This mystery is flipping crazy, man. I love it. I love it. Oda's executing the mystery really well. The chapter was the best at that since Water 7. Dude, Silva, I said the same thing earlier, bro. The parallels to Water 7 are crazy. Because what made that arc so special, like I said before, is the fact that it was able to have this vibe, this murder mystery, crime, thriller type of story and vibe to it, that kept it was one of the greatest page turning experiences. Even though I first experienced that arc in the anime, you just had to keep pressing next episode, right? On Watch OP, next episode. But the same thing for people who read in the manga. It's one of the greatest arcs of all time, making you want to turn the pages. Egghead is like that. where it has this incredible murder mystery where Oda's doing a Detective Conan in his story, and it's like you look back at his interview with Gosho Aoyama, the creator of Detective Conan, and it's like, brother, this man was having an interview with Gosho, and he's like, yeah, you know something? I'm reaching into your bag next. I'm going into your bag and delivering a murder mystery after this, dude. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I love Egghead, bro. Yo, so we have Subra coming in with 100 and says, let me make it more special, GOAT. Chapter 1000 parallel. Big Mom and Kaido versus Nuge. Dude, yes, Subra. I said the same thing. I was like, oh, this reminds me so much of the Roof Piece panel. Big Mom and Kaido versus New Gen S-Hawk and Kuma versus Luffy, Zoro, Lucci, Kaku, and Shaka. Like, man. So peak, bro. And it was just so good because, and we even got to see like him directly say like, yo, what are you, Kaido? Like, stay down, like just stay down, man. And it reminded me so much of Roof Piece. It really did. But thank you, Subaru, yo. I appreciate you for the 100, man. Hello, someone comes in membership for 12 months and says Sanji came in W with the Germa eyebrow, Iron Man style. Dude, Sanji in this chapter had a different type of just boss level energy to him. I mean, he truly had that that Mr. Prince type of energy, one-liners, you know, just classic Sanji. Classic Sanji. We love to see it. But thank you, Halo-sama, for the membership for 12 months. And honestly, when it comes to the Germa eyebrow thing, it's really cool how we keep that consistent. Like, I didn't notice it at first because I was so focused on what he said, the judge, jury, and executioner thing. I didn't notice the eyebrow. But shout out to chat. The change in the eyebrow really does showcase that Sanji's about to go ham. He is about to go ham, man. Recon comes in, yo. Membership for 12 months, dude. So many of y'all have been members for so long, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I really, really do. Vega can't control the urge of live beings. S. Flamingo. Recon. If that gun in this chapter was an actual indication that this is S. Flamingo popping dudes left and right, I already love Doflamingo, but if I see Dofi catching more bodies than all of CP 0 through 9 combined, oh man. Dude, can you imagine Doflamingo with we see S Flamingo or S Crocodile or S Mori or whatever. And then if it's S Flamingo, we cut over to Dofi and Impel Down and he's just laughing. He doesn't know why he's laughing. He's like, sounds like I'm causing chaos somewhere, you know? I love it. And to me, the Katok sound effect is what has me a little shook. Because the Katok sound effect, like I saw here from Momo's, it could be for like clocking the gun, right? Cocking it, reloading, whatever the case may be. But it could also lead into, for instance, Mr. Sama obviously in the walk, which is why people think Mr. Sama is a woman for rocking the heels. But at the same time, we know Doflamingo rocks his as well. So Doflamingo's shoes be clocking and talking all over the place. So it's like, it really could be young Don Quixote Doflamingo, which would be a great... I'd be going crazy. But thank you, Recon, man. I appreciate you. Okay, Dan comes in with a 2 and says, Shaka lost blood when he got shot. Isn't he a robot? Okay, Dan, what does that mean? If we're meant to believe this is blood and not oil, like GoldenEye 21 says. GoldenEye 21 says this could potentially be oil. If this is oil, that makes a lot of sense. But if it's blood, like OK Dan says, it's oil or blood, but the pacifist is also a bleed. Shaka is probably a cyborg like pacifist. That's a good point. And so if the pacifist is also bleed, then Shaka potentially being able to bleed as well is not too far-fetched. That's also a great point. That is a great point. But man, OK Dan brings up a great point with that. A great point with that. Thank you so much for the 2, brother. Dude, look at the massive amount of blood/oil coming back from the back of his head right here in this panel that's splurt. Katak. No, bro, this Katak thing sounds like some heels, dude. It sounds like something is walking. This was an awesome chapter, man. Praetorius is joking. Does it seem like Sanji's German powers are affecting his personality this chapter? He did call himself Nami Seraphim recently. Will we get Zoro's and Sanji's arc due to their promise? I'm not sure if we're going. I mean, if we have some payoff to that here, I thought that the payoff was the joke at the end of Wano. But I'm not gonna rule anything out, especially like you said with him already having the eyebrow turn around and showcase a little bit of that here. But I don't think it'll get to the Zoro versus Sanji thing. If it does, hey, all props to you. But I don't think it's gonna get to that extent, personally. I love Vazu Cap's theory as well. And as a matter of fact, I think that's actually very plausible. Vazu Cap here says Shaka faking his own death in front of the Stella would be a 9,000 IQ move, though. So true. Because the Shaka unit going and faking his own death in front of Vegapunk is the classic murder mystery novel. The character who's actually the one behind all of this dies so they can move in the background to ensure that everything goes according to their plans. And no one will suspect him because they all believe that he's dead. Right? Like that is a classic thing that has been utilized in multiple murder mystery stories. And so with that being said, if that is the case, then what you're saying is 150% true. And it could happen. Yo, Bar M comes in with a 5 and says, whoever's walking down the stairs gave me Doppio Devil Pro 100%. Yo, that's actually a fantastic comparison. It truly did rock that energy / like the Dio Brando energy too, where it's like Dio Brando was able to like walk down certain stairs and everyone is feeling it. Everyone is feeling the Dio Brando, right? Going down, looking down the stairs, menacing. You feel me? So Michael Mickles! Yo! Michael Mickles comes in not only with a membership for 14 months, but then Michael Mickles comes in and gives 5 memberships to the channel, bro. I appreciate my boy with every fiber in my being, man. Shout out to Michael D. Mickles, man. Yo. Shout out to my boy, man. Seriously. And then he says, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just happy to hear the king talking about it. Yo, it's like, who knows what's going on, Michael Mickles? That's how crazy this arc is. I'm sure all of us are just as lost as the other. Shout out to the growing community. Y'all have been killing in the comment sections. Thanks to everybody. Dude, Michael, I 100,000,000% resonate with what he just said in regards to y'all have been killing it, man. Dude, let me tell y'all something. the amount of support the channel has received recently has been out of this world, bro. And I really, really do appreciate y'all for that. And I've been trying my hardest to try to balance, right, at what I'm currently doing outside of YouTube and YouTube itself as well. So many things in the works, and to know that even though I haven't been able to bring out the stuff that's in the works, to still see the amount of support that I do every single week, it really does warm my heart, man. So nothing but love to Michael and everybody who's here and everybody who can be here. It's just it means a lot, man. But man, this man Michael, bro. Shout out to Michael and Hollow-sama coming in with a flipping gifted memberships, bro. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all so much, man. Hope everything's going well with you, Michael, brother. But man, yo, Bar M, seriously, bro. Straight up JoJo character vibes. By the way, doesn't JoJo come back next week? Like JoJo Lance? Shouldn't we be getting a new chapter next week? Oh, Lazy Mofos. Let me actually check that. Lazy Mofos says, did Alice and Edison bleed when they got hit? Let me look at a previous chapter. If anybody finds this before I do, let me know. Atlas. So... No. No. Which one? Which one? Dude, Lelo. If Usopp breaks out of Hancock's power the same way Law did, pre-Elbaf, I'm going to be screaming. I'm going to be screaming. Oh, Dre, man, thank you for the kind words, dude. That means a lot. That means a lot. No, they didn't bleed. No. They have organoids. They do have organoids. They most certainly do have organoids. So that means that they could get hit in certain places, and then other places like the head, it would receive damage. It would most certainly receive damage because those are actual organoids. Whereas a lot of the other portions of the body are made out of are made of like cybernetic technology. Hunter chapter, new JoJo Lands. So JoJo Lands does come out next week. We'll be talking. So for the Hunter chapter, I saw that because I was tagged in it, that Togashi put out an update. I was so happy. I was like, bye bye, Togashi. That made me super happy, man. Do you think Judge and Caesar are coming to Egghead? I do, Awantika. I do, though I don't think it'll happen within the arc. I do think it'll happen post, like potentially, like whenever what was said in this chapter, when Egghead gets turned into Ground Zero, that's when Judge and Caesar will show up. Dang, man, there's gonna be a lot of people here in post Egghead that are gonna want to be here and might arrive too late or whatever the case may be. But I do see a lot of characters showing up in post Egghead. I appreciate your Praetorus, man. Shout out to the 1044 greatness, bro. Peak fiction. Peak flipping fiction. Mabruk says, whenever the seraphims attack, their flames go out just like King. That's probably how they're going to beat them. 100%. And it looks like across the board that it's going to be the way to beat them, as we see with what was happening with Frankie and Lilith and Usopp and them. It's just going to be very difficult considering the fact that they can immediately get the flame going again. So they're going to need to match it to where they attack when the flames do go out, and they take full advantage of the scenario. Then I'm excited to see how that works both in the Luffy part of it and Sanji now dealing with Jinbei, and with the Lilith, Usopp, Frankie stuff. That's the thing, Fall PZ. The katak could be the sound, like you said, of the clogs belonging to the samurai-looking Gorosei. Gunshot would make sense. That's how I feel about so many of these possibilities. That's why, for me, even though, like, this mystery's crazy. This mystery's crazy. Because the gunshot, like, the fact that it's an actual physical gun, not a futuristic gun, not a laser, not a sword. So many things were taken out of the picture just because a gun was used, right? And it was an actual human doing that. Or we don't even know if it's human. We just know that it's physically, like, it's capable of holding a gun. So it's like... Lazy Muffle says, I only asked because Atlas took her Rokugan to the grill. Guns greater than her Rokugan? That's a great point. That's a great point. Legit took a Rokugan. And that was like a hybrid form Rokugan to the grill. Now, unless Atlas is... Because Atlas is the violence, maybe Atlas has the ability to be able to tank that type of stuff way easier than someone else would. But the fact remains that that is still a lot of damage. Like, a lot of damage. So... Whoa! Zach the Wanderer comes in with a 10. Shout out to Zach the Wanderer, who says, hey King, I still think it's OG Vegapunk from the past. The past few suspicions cover stories to the decision making. How was the world's smartest man being outsmarted on his own island? So you think that in a unique Oda fashion here, what we're seeing is that the main villain of this arc is still Dr. Vegapunk. We can't comprehend why exactly that is to be the case at this point in time. I still think it's OG Vegapunk from the past. Few suspicious cover stories to decision making. How was the world's smartest man being outsmarted on his own island? And it's like, that's so true. That is so true. It just makes you think, how is he doing it? How is the OG Vegapunk able to do all of this without the others catching on? And not only just that, how is he doing this without physically being able to do it? You know, like, that's the thing where I'm just like, that's what perplexes me. Man, Zach the Wanderer, you got me thinking now, bro. You got me thinking because obviously... So many possibilities. So many possibilities. But your last thing is what really sticks with me. It's like, really, how is the world's smartest man being outsmarted by his own island? Unless it's Oda trying to play around with the idea that once we create certain things, what they do is out of our control, right? Like going and having a play on what happened with Tom and Frankie back in their flashback, where you have to be proud of your creations. What about if Vegapunk is dealing with a scenario here where his creations are not going beyond his control, which is a very popular thing that is explored within sci-fi novels, cyberpunk novels, that go into the whole what happens when humans can no longer fully control what they've created, and instead their creations start controlling them, and or start doing things outside of their expectations. That is also what Oda could be playing with in regards to Vegapunk, right? Where even someone as smart as him cannot take into account certain things like this. So in that way, I could see how he's being outsmarted by his own island. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Hollow-sama comes in with a 2. Says, why couldn't Vegapunk teleport out the cell like earlier? Why couldn't Vegapunk teleport out of the cell like earlier? You're talking about like with the quasi thing, right? With the quasar thing. That's a great point. Is the quasar mechanism limited to certain use? Is it like an interruption with a signal? Or is it more like a scenario that was brought up earlier where he's doing this to relieve himself from suspicion? But at the same time, it's like he didn't know the CP members were down there. That's a great point, Hollow-sama. Why couldn't he teleport out of there the same way he did earlier? Thank you for the 2, Hollow-sama. Yo, Namer, what's good? I love all these theories of a time to be a One Piece fan. Dude, you're telling me, man. It is crazy. The theories... It's always what makes this experience so special, right? But especially for an arc like this, that not only... See, what has allowed this arc to be so special is it's tackling One Piece at its 3 levels. It's tackling it at the very micro level of chapter-to-chapter mysteries, chapter-to-chapter excitement, where we all speculate what's going to happen next, just in regards to what's happening within the arc itself. Then we go into the macro, right? Like, what's happening around the world? Where could that lead us into what's going to happen with Shanks and with Law and Blackbeard and Vivi and all this stuff. And then on the super macro level of what's going to happen in Elbaf and Lodestar and stuff like that. So this arc, and the Void Sentry. So this arc really is allowing us to speculate and theorize on every single level, right? And it's what's made it so much fun. Ike's Revenge says it's not Shaka, and it very well might not be. It very well might not be Shaka that got shot. I don't even know what to believe anymore. Do you think Oda will cut away to Shanks and Kid to let the murder mystery simmer for another chapter, or do we get the reveal next week? Super Alatrion, I think Oda has the storytelling capabilities of staying here for another chapter and still doesn't reveal who the traitor is. I think he's really going to let this one simmer for a while. No matter what we do, whether he decides to go next chapter to like Law and Blackbeard, or next chapter to Shanks and Kid, or next chapter to Vivi, or to Dragon, or to Sabo, or whatever the case may be, whether that happens or we stay here on Egghead, there are so many things taking place that next chapter could be completely dedicated to the defeat and or outsmarting and attempting to figure out the weaknesses or how to execute on the weaknesses of the Seraphim units. And we don't get any of the murder mystery, but we still continue to build upon it. We could like start off the chapter down there with Vegapunk, trying to figure out who it is. Maybe we receive another hint, and then we'll switch over to the other stuff, and then every single Egghead chapter has to end on a crazy cliffhanger. So what will be the crazy cliffhanger? Will it be going around the world? Will it be the reveal of the traitor? Who knows? But every chapter is going to have that crazy ending. But we at Super Alatrion, we could get the reveal next week. And if we do, that's going to be a peak chapter. It's going to be a peak chapter. That is a great point. So, Themistocles of Athens says maybe the teleport is a functionality of the island which has been turned off by whomever is in control. And that is a great point, because maybe the original ability to teleport, the reason why I can't do it right now, is due to the island itself, right? And we've been seeing how the island itself, certain functions of the island have been getting taken out one by one. So that could potentially be the case as to why you can't teleport out of there right now. I still want to know why the WG... Still want to know why the WG let several groups disappear for months and not investigate. Lack of manpower has always been stressed on their side, so why let that slide? That's a great point, Lazy Mufflos. It might be due to a multitude of different factors, right? Like, maybe they thought they died in action. maybe Akainu's so busy and the WG is so busy with what's happening because there's so much happening on their watch right now. Where the WG is they're dealing with so many different scenarios in the outside world that if something like this were to slip, I feel like this would be the perfect time for something like this to slip, right? But at the same time, you're right. They stated months. So if they've been over there for months, that means this is before all the Sabo stuff started happening and the Reverie stuff and stuff of that nature. So why let them do that? And I know that like Vortex says, they sent CP0 for that reason, right? In order to take out Vegapunk and for this stuff here on Egghead. But that might just be it. That might just be that they finally got around to doing it, right? It finally passed through all the things. Now they're getting around to sending CP0, which they originally had in Wano. It's taking CP0 from Wano and sending them now on this new mission to go rescue the other several agents / take care of Vegapunk. That very well just could be the case right there. And that's also a good point Awantika. So Vegapunk is handcuffed with Sea Stone, maybe that's why he cannot teleport. But at the same time, that's based on futuristic technology, not necessarily a Devil Fruit ability. I just keep thinking of Water 7. We had a similar scenario of a traitor to Iceberg, and it turned out to be all of the suspects. That's also a good point. It could be all of them. All of them working together. All 6 Vegapunks working together, which would go right back to Zack's theory of it being the OG Vegapunk. And they're all just working together, right? Mason Hack says maybe Egghead Island is alive. So, Mason, I've been thinking about Oda's Islands. Because I've been thinking about Zoe lately. Just in regards to the way that island works. And Egghead Island, and especially with the Punk Records thing, it very well, Mason, could take on a mind of its own, which would lead into so many people having, or not so many people, but the consensus of a potential traitor being Punk Records itself, which of course represents the entirety of Egghead Island. So, if Oda's trying to go with a classic sci-fi story ending here, where the island itself, on top of this traitor stuff, whether the traitor is Punk Records somewhere, somehow, and or on top of the traitor stuff, we also have the island itself coming alive, and through Punk Records, right, and no longer being under Vegapunk's control or being under Vegapunk's control, regardless. If the island itself is able to quote unquote come alive and gain a life of its own through, going against its master in classic sci-fi novel format, then I would not be surprised, because it would just be Oda not only leaning into one of those classic archetypes within that particular genre and just Odifying it into his story, but I think it would be interesting to see how Oda, in a series like One Piece, would tackle technology versus man, how man would deal with technology going against its master, quote unquote. It would be an interesting scenario if something like that were to happen. Okay, Dan says, I still think the WG doesn't know about the traitor, because why would the traitor capture the CP0 agents? They are on the same side as the WG. It's also a good point. Unless the traitor is completely in it for themselves and wants to ensure, or maybe, oh man, that's a great point. Dude, this is crazy, bro. This arc, Imagine the egghead egg closes and locks everyone inside. Vortex, could you imagine something like that happening? Then we would have to find some other type of way to get out of here. Oda's really emphasizing everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Great theme for a sci-fi. Yes, that is the way you write a thriller arc, especially when in a sci-fi type of fantasy like this. Yes, the huge brain stored inside of Punk Records, like the collective, right? But going on what Super Alex Rion says about the Punk Records brain would still need to control a physical body or command a certain that we haven't seen yet. The Punk Records brain could technically control a body if it is under the command of Punk Records. So, for example, if Punk Records potentially would have the opportunity to either control one of the Vegapunks. Let's just use one of the Vegapunks as an example. Control one of the Vegapunk's bodies without the other ones knowing. And this is how this whole trader business is taking place. I would not be surprised, because at this point, from what we know, there is so much information stacked within Punk Records that if something like that were to take a life of its own, once again, that is a classic AI story where it is too smart for its own good, and it is executing like it's kind of like Plankton, right? Executing Plan Z, what it believes to be for the betterment of mankind. This is what I'm going to do, right? Like, I'm going to go about this, and like I said, we don't know if this is if something like this were to happen. It's just a hypothetical scenario. If something like this were to happen with Punk Records, we wouldn't know if this is a command given from Dr. Vegapunk or if this is something that the Punk Records system itself would be doing, as with all the information, all the data gathered from human history. This is what the Punk Records system believes would take us into the next stage of humanity, would be to do something like this to eradicate and or get rid of whatever's happening here in order to allow us to progress into the next step for humans to continue to evolve. I could see that happening. Because that is something that I could see, like I said earlier, with Oda tackling in regards to something that's already been a story that's already been told within this genre that he's just Odifying and making his own. It's just, man, this whole trader thing is so weird, because regardless of whatever it is, like someone brought up earlier, the motive is what gets me. Why do all of this? Like, I want to know the why so bad. Why? How? I ask you all this: if Shaka knew where Stella might be, then that means that's a place Stella is often. So how is it both OG Vegapunk and Shaka didn't know about this under their nose for 2 months? It's a great point, Zach. Because if this is a place where Vegapunk, the Stella, goes often, then why in the world didn't they find out about this until now? And then, like Leo says, from the face he does, Vegapunk knows who shot Shaka. Man, dude, this is like a crazy game of Among Us, man. This is wild. Yo, Bar M comes with a 5 and says, loved S Snake this chapter. The comedy, this chapter with Usopp and Lilith was hilarious, dude. S Snake, the acting, like, yo, S Snake deserves an award for her acting abilities in this chapter. She was fooling everyone. She had them in the palm of her fingers, all right, or just in the palm of her hand. Palm of her fingers makes no sense. In the palm of her hand, like, she was just toying with them over here, toying with them over here, using every single aspect of her situation. And what makes me so happy about that is I thought the way Lilith and Usopp and them were going to defeat Hancock was from them outsmarting Hancock. And in actuality, the S-Snake is the one who outsmarted them in multiple different ways. Multiple different ways. Showing absolute brilliance, not only from a combat standpoint, but how to utilize your ability to its highest degree. Right? Just taking full advantage of the heart. And it was so insane. I was like, yo, we're seeing classic heel tactics being used by the S-Snake here, and I thought it was great. It was, like you said, it was very comedic, but everything made sense. And it really made you think, like, how are they doing this and whatnot. But the S-Snake was on a different one this chapter. But thank you, Baram. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's a good point, Super Alatreon. The traitor's motives should be related to why they prevented the CP agents from leaving such reporting what they saw during their inspection, right? That most certainly could be the case. That most certainly could be related to the case, which would lean into the possibility that it really is Vegapunk. It's extremely hacks, Leo. Extremely hacks. Anybody, you already know, Nami, Chopper, Robin, characters that are weak to cuteness, right off the bat, turn to stone. Right off the bat. Characters like maybe even Luffy too. Because I think back to Ryunosuke in Zou. And everybody was infatuated with Ryunosuke. Except for Zoro and Law. Really, it was just a stupid drawing. You know what I mean? And so, it would be another... Yo, Ryunosuke, with this ability, most OP character of all time. Period. 100% period. Oh, what if one of the Seraphims we haven't seen yet has Bon Clay's fruit and they're commending the Seraphims against their own creators? Now, Mabruk, I do believe Bon Clay is still alive. However, they could have an artificial fruit, like you said, a potential artificial version of Bon Clay's fruit, and they are using that artificial version in order to shapeshift and or create the appearance of one of the other members, which I can most certainly see that. If one of them has a Bon Clay artificial type of fruit that can allow them to shapeshift, and maybe it just has bigger restrictions, where in the original fruit, you have to touch them with your hand in order to be able to shapeshift into them. Maybe this one has a different type of restriction on it, right? Because it is a quote-unquote failed / different version of that ability. So I could see that happening. I really could. Mason says, does the 163 on Luffy's back on page 4 mean anything? When I saw the 163, I was kind of like, that's weird. A lot of emphasis there. But I guess we won't find out what that is, or what it could imply, if it does imply anything, for a while. Because they would have to connect in some way, shape, or form to something else. But for right now, I'm not reading too much into it. But if somebody else finds something that connects to it, I think that'd be crazy. Yeah, I did Hell High Death about the Sanji's eyebrows. I peeped it after the chat told me about it. Yeah, Praetorus. That's a good point. Yeah, Dre. It would be real Among Us with morphing and shapeshifting, right? Do you think Vegapunk is researching poneglyphs or Dragon? I most certainly do believe that Vegapunk and Dragon are interested within these things. Where it gets very interesting, especially with Vegapunk. Vegapunk's just trying to gain more knowledge, right? So I'm sure he has to have some sort of knowledge into what was actually stated in the poneglyphs, because what we saw him in chapter 1066 say is what Robin was able to put together thanks to what was stated on the poneglyphs, right? So I'm going to assume Vegapunk in some way, shape, or form was able to extract some of that information, some of that knowledge. Yo, GoldenEye, no problem. Have a good one. I'm actually going to wrap up here in a little bit. But you have some fun. You go do some homework, yo, and I appreciate you for the kind words. And thank you for stopping by, GoldenEye. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's a great chapter, man. It really was. It was a great chapter to come off of the break with, because now we have so much to think about, take us into the next stage of this arc. This arc has really surprised me in terms of its length and how it's kept our interest for such a prolonged period of time, and it just progressively gets more interesting and interesting and interesting with every single chapter. Yo, Vortex, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been wow, we've been going on for 2 hours, dude. It feels like we've only been going for like an hour. Shout out to y'all, man. Much love to everybody who showed up. And, of course, for the people who came by, Halo-sama and Michael Mickles for the gift memberships, I appreciate y'all. Everybody who renewed their memberships this stream, everybody who donated the super. Shout out to Argentina and anybody who came by and super chatted, man. I appreciate y'all so much. It was an awesome and fun stream. It's going to be crazy, dude. Like, the coming weeks, I'm going to assume, hopefully, we'll go to another 2 chapters before we go on break. Anime's coming back soon. But, man, I love Coda, no doubt. No doubt. Jonathan Tamal, no doubt. Bar M, my boys. Absolutely. Yeah, y'all have a good one. Praetors, Frodo Baggage. Y'all have a good one, man. We will... Not sure when I'll see y'all again in regards to something like this, but just keep an eye out. There's a lot of stuff I have cooking. I'm just still trying to figure out when I'm able to get it out. Next week, we'll be back with some more greatness in regards to some stuff that was voted on by the members. So just keep an eye out for that. That'll be a lot of fun. And March, let's have some fun, man. Let's have some fun. But Oda delivering another banger for us here for a very well-paced chapter. Flowed extremely well. Great moments all around with comedy and thrilling moments. But that final page was really, really menacing, man. Like, that's how you elevate a mystery to its peak. And I can't wait to see where Oda goes with it. Because I just think back to, remember the cliffhangers in Zoe that just had us on the edge of our seat in regards to trying to figure out exactly like where we're going here. And Oda's been playing around with that bit by bit in certain arcs up until this point with certain murder mystery elements. But this is a full-blown murder mystery similar to how it was in Water 7. And I think that's what makes it so compelling. But I will see y'all. Have an awesome sauce of a day. Yo, Namer. Trails to Azure comes out next week. Can you believe that? And in the localization, that's just insane to me. Insane to me, man. Imagine if Oda said the break week for this chapter, man. Can you imagine? Thankfully, we have a chapter next week, man. But yo, I will see y'all. Have an awesome one. Take care. The One Piece is real, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going in every